Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought you just don't measure up? Maybe it's the hairline, the love handles, the fact that your beard refuses to grow in like a Viking warlord's, and instead looks like a patchy teenager's science experiment. It turns out the way you see yourself might be holding you back from realizing your true attractiveness. And I'm not just talking about looks here. I'm talking about the kind of quiet power that draws respect, the type of presence that doesn't beg for attention because it already commands it. Now, before we dive in, if you like this kind of content, where ancient wisdom meets modern life for men trying to level up, hit that like button, subscribe, and maybe even tap that little bell icon. I mean, you don't have to. But Marcus Aurelius is watching. No pressure. Let's get into it. 7 signs you're more attractive than you think, according to Stoicism. 1. You don't need constant approval. Most people are addicted to validation, likes, comments, compliments, and they'll shapeshift to get them. But if you're the kind of guy who doesn't chase approval, that's attractive. It means you have your own internal compass, and nothing's more magnetic than someone who doesn't need the crowd to know he's on the right path. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's not just about humility, it's about strength. You're okay being misunderstood because you know who you are. And that level of self-trust, that's gold in a world full of fakes. 2. You carry yourself with calm in chaos. Let's be honest, most people panic at the first sign of trouble. Traffic, a missed text, a flat tire, and suddenly it's the apocalypse. But if you can stay level-headed under pressure, you send a strong signal. I've got this. Stoicism teaches us to prepare for adversity, not avoid it. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." When you walk through storms without flinching, you don't need to brag about your strength. People feel it. Your calm becomes contagious. That's not just attractive, that's leadership. 3. You think deeply and speak with purpose. Ever been around a guy who just talks to hear himself talk? 10 minutes in, and your brain is begging for mercy. Now compare that to someone who listens more than he speaks. And when he does speak, it's sharp, thoughtful, maybe even a little dangerous. If you're someone who pauses, reflects, and chooses your words like a blade, congrats, you're walking the Stoic path. Marcus Aurelius said, "Speak only if what you have to say is more valuable than silence." Real attraction isn't loud, it's deliberate, and when people notice you don't waste words, they tend to hang on the ones you do say. 4. You don't let emotions run the show. We all feel things. Anger, lust, fear, joy. That's human. But if you've trained yourself not to act on every feeling, that's Stoic strength. Epictetus reminded us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. If you embody control, if you can be insulted and not react, tempted and not indulge, provoked and not explode, you send a powerful message. I am the master here, not my emotions. That kind of discipline shows in your face, your voice, your posture, and it's quietly, intensely attractive, like a coiled spring, ready, controlled, confident. 5. You focus on what you can control. Here's a Stoic truth bomb. Most of what happens in life is outside your control, but your response, that's yours. If you don't waste energy whining about traffic, other people's opinions, or your boss's bad haircut, you've already separated yourself from the herd. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Attractiveness isn't always visible. Sometimes it's in the energy you carry. And when that energy says, "I don't waste time on the uncontrollable," people respect it. Because in a world full of victims, you're a man taking responsibility, and that's hot. Period. 6. You prioritize integrity over image. We're living in a time when everyone's curating their life for the gram. Filters, fake smiles, performative authenticity. But if you actually live your values, even when no one's watching, you shine without trying. Seneca put it clearly. What is required is not a lot of words, but effectual ones. You don't need to post about being a good man, you just need to be one. When you hold your ground, even when it's inconvenient. When you speak the truth, even when it costs you. When your handshake actually means something, people notice. They might not always say it, but they feel it, and they trust it. And trust, gentlemen, is incredibly attractive. 7. You're comfortable alone, but not lonely. If you can sit with yourself in silence and not squirm, you're stronger than most. A man who doesn't constantly need noise, attention, or affirmation is rare. He's full, not empty, solid, not scattered. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." You don't need a crowd to feel alive. You've got purpose, focus, and when people see that you're not chasing anyone, they start to wonder why. That mystery, that peace, that sense of being grounded, it draws people in because they want what you have, self-possession. So let's be real. You might not be a model, you might not have a six-figure watch or a luxury car, but if you're walking through life with calm, clarity, and character, you're more attractive than you think. Not because you're loud, but because you're present. Not because you're perfect, but because you're grounded. If you live with inner discipline, self-respect, emotional control, and quiet confidence, then you're already more magnetic than the guy chasing likes and lifting his shirt in the mirror. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's Marcus Aurelius again, and that's the real flex. So if this resonated with you, do me a solid, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment. Which of these signs do you see in yourself? Or better yet, what's one you're working on? Stay strong, stay grounded, and remember, attraction starts on the inside. That's the Stoic way.